Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. Be'ezrat Hashem, let's try to see over a small idea about the idea of why we're lighting so late in the month in this darkness. What is it all about? We're in the middle of the darkness of winter. It's the 25th day of Kislev. So first off, I heard a cute idea that, most of our holidays are in the middle of the month with the full moon. We know Rosh Hashanah is that one exception, Bekesa Yom Chagenu. But Hanukkah, it's at the end of the month. 25th of the month, it's getting darker and darker. What's it all about? And then also, the actual holiday extends into next month, the month of Tevet. So why do we have a holiday that's going through 2 months? So cute little idea that Hanukkah, what's it really all about? It's lighting up that darkness. It's finding that choshech of the Yavanim, of the Greeks, and turning it into great light. And we want to spread that light. That light doesn't just stay with us. It's Persume Nisa. We want to bring it out there to the world, and we want to bring it into the next month as well. So part of the reason why it starts at the end of Kislev and goes into Tevet is to say that 1 month is not enough. When we want to light up the world, we want it to keep going. We want to spread it to other places. Okay, but then I saw a much deeper idea in last week's Ma'amar from the Shvilei Pinchas. Says the Shvilei Pinchas, quoting the Tikkunei HaZohar. He says the first 24 days of Kislev, 24 is Gematria Kad. Now, the kad symbolizes the jug. We have the kad katan, that small jug of oil, the pach shemen, also known as the kad katan, the small kad. Kad is 24. It's the jug of oil. It's a hint to the finding, that discovery of that hidden jar of oil. But he says the Shvilei Pinchas, based on Tikkunei HaZohar, 24 is gematria, 24 letters of the Baruch Shem Kibod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed. Now, we've had a lot of divrei Torah over the years, over the special tefillah, this hidden tefillah, that tefillah that we say in a whisper. We mentioned once in the past from Rav Soloveitchik that Baruch Shem is the prayer of our internal personal emunah to Hashem. It's what we say to ourselves. The Shema Yisrael is that great emunah we declare out loud for everybody to hear. But the Baruch Shem Kibod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed, 24 letters, that's our emunah tata'ah. That's our emunah from down below. That's our internal emunah. That's our bitachon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says we have the first 24 days of the Koach Baruch Shem. Mystically, when we related it as well to Yaakov Avinu's ladder, we said that it goes from down below all the way to Kisei Kavod. But the Baruch Shem is our emunah down below. But then Tikkunei HaZohar, he takes it one step further, because we start with this kad. And I was actually thinking it's the kad in our stories, the hidden kad. It has the seal, it's the chotam, it's the discovery, it's the emunah inside of us that's not as clear for everybody except for ourselves. If we search it out, we find our kad katan. But then says the Tikkunei HaZohar, once we find it, then we're going to light up the world. That's already the kaf hey. We go from the kad, the 24, to the ko, to the 25. The 25 being the 25th day of Kislev. Tonight, the first night of Hanukkah, the kaf hey, he says, corresponds to the greater emunah, the more open emunah, the yichud ha'ila'ah, the yichud ha'elyon, the upper level oneness of God. The 25 letters in the first pasuk of the Shema, of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So the first pasuk, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, is 25 letters. The second verse, there's actually even a verse. It's the Yaakov Avinu's tefillah, Baruch Shem Kibod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed, the prayer of the angels, the hidden prayer. That's 24 letters. So we go from the 24, from what's called the yichud ha'tachton to the yichud ha'elyon. We go from the Baruch Shem to the Shema Yisrael, to that external, outward declaration of emunah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says Rav Tzadok HaKohen Lublin, he says, our Yichud HaTachton, our Kad, that was the koch of the Hashmonaim, to be zochet, the outward miracle of the candles of the ko. So we had to start with the Kad, and from the Kad, we then got to the ko. Which again he's explaining is the Baruch Shem, our internal emunah Hashem, getting to the Shema Yisrael, the external that the whole world can see. That's that light of the Chanukiah, of the menorah, spreading to the entire world. Says the Shvilei Pinchas, bringing down from the Or Einaim. He says that koach of the Shema, the greater outer mesirut nefesh, that's the actual war of the Hashmonaim, willing to fight. That's the actual finding of the Kad Shemesh, and then the next day lighting the menorah for the whole world to see. It's that great declaration of Shema Yisrael, the Persume Nisa, that everybody can see. So he says the Or Einaim, what is that koach to have such a mesirut nefesh? Where does it come from? So he said it's actually hidden in the koach of Avraham and Yitzchak and the Akeidat Yitzhak. Okay, a cool idea. He says as follows, a little mystical right now. He says that if we go back to that pasuk, when Avraham and Yitzchak leave behind the servants, they leave behind, according to Midrash, Eliezer and Ishmael, and the two of them go up to serve God, to bow down to Hashem, to ultimately be willing to sacrifice mesirut nefesh of Yitzchak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Akeidat Yitzchak. So the pasuk there says, we've spoken this pasuk many times in the past, Shvu lachem po im hachamor, Vani v'anal yelchu ad ko. He says, you guys stay over here with the donkey, and we're going to go over there. We're going to go there, and then we're going to go serve God up there on the mountaintop. So we spoke a couple weeks ago about the po versus the ko. Now let's focus on the Me'or Einayim. The Me'or Einayim says, look at the word ko. What is ko? Ko is the kaf hey letters of the Shema Yisrael, but ko is really the kaf hey Kislev. It's the koach of Hanukkah, of lighting that menorah, of the koach of the mesirut nefesh of the Hashmonaim, willing to die, fighting that war for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Abraham and Yitzhak were doing in the Akeidah. They were putting in that spiritual koach to give the mesirut nefesh to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mesirut nefesh, they're willing to die for Hashem on all those future galiyot, whether we're facing the Greeks in Hanukkah time, or the Romans, Edom, Ishmael, all those future times where we're going to have to really fight to spread Judaism, to spread the light of Torah to the entire world. Where does that koach come from? It comes from the koach of the Akeidah. That was Shulachem. We're going to go to Ko. We're going to go to Hanukkah. We're going to go and give that koach to the 25th day of Kislev, so in the future, we're going to be able to make it. And he says beautifully, the Shlei Pinchas brings the Gemara in Gittin, Daf Nun Zayin Amud Bet, that we know Chana Masra, she was Moser, her 7 kids died al Kiddush Hashem in fighting against the Greeks. So she says, where did that koach come from? Where did it come from? So she says that she told her sons, go to Abraham and say to Avraham Avinu, Ata kata mizbeach echad, you made an akeidah of one mizbeach, of one altar for your one son. Vani akati shiva mizbachot. But I basically had 7 mizbachot. I lost my 7 children. I was thinking the number 7 over here. It's the 7 branches of the menorah. Where did the koach of the mesirut nefesh come from? Where did Chana being willing to be Sarah 7 kids? It's the hidden koach of the akeidah. It's the Shema Yisrael, the koach of the of that level of avodat Hashem. So says the Shlei Pinchas, we have to have both levels of the yichud. We need the yichud tachton and the yichud ila'ah. We need the lower level yichud, the internal one, our personal one. But Baruch Shem Kevod, the kad shemen, find our internal emunah Hashem, and then afterwards we get elevated to the external big mesirut nefesh of Shema Yisrael. And he says, if you go back to the Akeidah, we see a hint to Baruch Shem as well, because eventually they're going to go ad ko. At the end of the pasuk, they make it to ko. In the beginning, it says shevu lachem. You guys stay here. But what's shevu lachem? Shevu lachem shin bet vav lamed kaf mem are the same letters as Baruch Shem Kivol Machuto Olam Va'ed. So even in the Akeidah, we have the koach of the internal emunah as well. Baruch Shem Kivol Machuto Olam Va'ed, letters shevu lachem. So we start with the Baruch Shem, and then eventually we make it to the greater Shema Yisrael, the greater declaration of emunah. And he says that's exactly what the Hashmonaim were doing. Because originally, what do we have? We had the first level of mesirut nefesh, the more internal mesirut nefesh. That was their mesirut nefesh for Torah, where they were hiding in the caves. You know the famous cute story that we say that we're busy playing dreidel on the outside, the kids, so that the Abbas inside can learn the Torah. They were hiding in the caves, learning Torah against the decree that you can't learn. They were sitting there and they were learning. They were willing to be moser their nefesh. They were willing to die to learn Torah, but they were doing it in the hidden kind of way. They were hiding. That's the first Kaf Daled days. That's the Kad Shemen. That's the hiding in the darkness. But then eventually they actually are going to willing to step it up and fight that war. And then eventually we get to that great light of the menorah, the great miracle of Hashem lighting up the entire world. That's the kol. That's going from the Baruch Shem, the internal emunah, to the external Persumei Nisa of the Shema Yisrael. And that's the koach of Hanukkah, and that's what we're celebrating Dafka on the 25th day of Kislev. Hanukkah Sameach.